And we are continuing our coverage of Gen Con 2015. I'm now at the Tasty Minstrel Games booth, and I'm here with Seth, and he will be explaining the game Flip City.
Yes, hi. How's it going?
Good, you?
Very good.
You having a good con so far?
Yes, I am.
Awesome.
So this is Flip City. In Flip City, this is a deck building game. You're trying to build up your city while keeping your people happy. And what you're going to do, so you have this deck of cards that you start with, and it has one of each of these 4 cards, as well as some residential areas. And unlike most deck building and most card games, you're going to shuffle this up, and you don't have a hand of cards. Instead, the first part of your turn is the play cards phase. You're going to hold your deck, and you're just going to look at the top card and say, do I want to play this card? So yeah, maybe you want to play this card. And the cards, when they come into play, have an effect. The factory says I have to take the bottom card and put it in my discard pile. Now, do I want to continue or stop here? I'll continue. I'll play a convenience store. Convenience store says if I play 18 cards this turn, I win. That's great. I'll continue. Some of the cards have a frown face, like this frowny face.
Here we go.
Yeah, I'll turn these around.
That's okay.
That's what I meant to do. The frowny face here, if I play 3 of those in one turn, then I bust, and my turn is forfeit. I get nothing. So, I can go ahead and play 1, that's okay. But the problem is, I've got 4 of these residential areas in my starting deck. They have a frown face, and they say if it's on top of my deck, I must play it. So I must play this card. Oh, and I must play this card.
There you go.
Oh, I've busted.
So
and so in this case, I would get my turn would be over.
Okay.
But that's okay, because that means these bad cards are in my discard pile. Next turn, I'll have a better turn, perhaps. These decks happen to have a bunch of residentials. But let's say, for example, that I don't bust, and I have these cards in play. If I choose to stop, then I can go on to my buy phase.
Okay.
These cards provide a couple things. Some of them provide these victory point ribbons. The goal is to play 8 points in one turn. If I play 8 points in one turn without busting, I win. Okay. They also provide money. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 money, $4 worth, with which I can buy. Now my buy phase, I actually have 3 options. I can buy, flip, or develop. To buy, I pay the buy cost, and I buy one of these cards, and I put it in my discard pile. So for 4 money, I could buy a hospital, or perhaps a convenience store, and it just goes into my discard pile. My other option, my second option, is called flip. I can look at my discard pile, and the cards have a flip cost. So this cost here is the flip cost. I have 4 money. I could choose, for example, not this one, but any of these. Maybe I'll choose this hospital, and I'll flip it over. Now it's a church. A church is maybe better than a hospital. In this case, it lets me play an extra frown face during my turn.
Oh, very cool.
So I can upgrade a card by flipping it. And the last option is called develop. I have 4 money, but if I had 5 money, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for example, I could take this card and buy the upgraded version right away.
Okay.
Now, looking at the cards I haven't played, this park actually says I get an additional buy. So what I might do with my 4 money here is I might buy a hospital, or a convenience store, or I might look at my discard pile and flip one of these bad residential areas over for $1 for my turn, making it an apartment, which is equally bad, but it does not force me to play it.
Now, do you only have if you have 4 money, you can only develop 1 card?
Normally, you can only do 1 buy, flip, or develop during your turn. However, the Central Park says I get an additional buy, so I've chosen to flip for my standard turn action, and I get an additional buy. So now that I've got 3 money left, I could choose this convenience store and buy it.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
I can't do another flip, but I could do a buy.
You could do a buy,
because of the park. Now, the other side of the park has a different option. It says I can flip twice a turn instead of additional flip, and my flips are cheaper. The different side of the factory lets you give your apartments to your opponent, so they have the bad cards.
So these cards remain in play, correct?
Or do you after my turn they go in my discard pile.
Because you need to do the 8 victory points in one single.
Turn. That's right.
Okay.
Right. So and then when it's my turn again, if I need to shuffle, I will shuffle my deck without looking, because I have to be careful not to flip my cards over.
Yes, that's right.
And like that.
Like that. Perfect example of what not to do.
If I shuffle and then I usually look away and shuffle, do a little cut. Okay, now I'm ready to go. I'll play an apartment. I'll play a factory, discarding this. I'll play a park, etc., 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 until I bust or decide to stop. And if I can manage to get 8 points in play, I win.
Wow, it looks very fun, simple. Love the artwork. Yeah, this looks fun. I mean, I try this.
It is. A lot of people have. I've read people who have seen the game say, "Oh, but there's only 4 cards to buy. How can there be replayability?" And I don't agree with that, because this game isn't Dominion. It's not, the replayability doesn't come from the variety of cards. It's the pressure lock mechanism and the choices. And each of these cards, don't forget, is 2 different cards.
That's right, yeah.
Which ones you plan to upgrade, which ones you don't, which ones you go for in the first place. There's plenty to do without there being a variety. However, I will say
The Gen Con God has interrupted me again. We're going to take a little pause here, Seth. Gen Con God, may we speak? I believe that's a yes.
so. Flip City comes with a built-in expansion, an optional fifth deck of cards that you could add if you like. And it's an office does one more thing, right? You could
a little bit more things. Okay.
add another. And I believe we're working on bringing out the next expansion. This was originally a Taiwanese game, I think, called Design Town.
Oh, cool.
And Design Town, I think the designer has maybe another. I don't know exactly how many cards it is or whatever, but
they're already out, the expansions, right? So
I believe we're going to be doing another, at least one more expansion, which will add more cards, I suppose. I haven't seen it myself.
And this retails for
$20.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, perfect. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Seth. Hopefully, we Bored to Death will get to do a review of Flip City. Thanks a lot, man. And enjoy the rest of the con. All right.
You too. Thank you.